Hello, welcome to Extra Connections. I'm James Lott Jr. here on JLJ Media, my online network. And we talk about people, places, things, and ideas. This person has ideas he puts into music. Yes, he does. He's been putting out music throughout this whole pandemic time. We're going to talk about that also and how important that is and what that means. But he has a new thing called A Love Joint, new EP out. I have mine on Spotify, but you can get it anywhere, but I go to Spotify and got mine. He has 4 songs on it: A Love Joint, Pretty Girls, Friend 75, and Deep Dive. Like I say, he's putting out music continuously, and I want to talk to him about all that. My new friend, Dewey Quinton. Hey, Dewey.
Hey. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me, man.
Always supporting my people. Always, unapologetically, always do. That's how I do.
Hey, appreciate that.
Yes, and you're in LA. You're in LA like I am. LA. What part of LA are you?
Fairfax, so like right across like the Grove, so like that Fairfax, West Hollywood area.
Oh, very nice. Okay. No, I'm in Inglewood. I can't talk. I'm in Inglewood.
Oh, there you go. There you go. There you go. It is.
I'm by the stadium, so yeah. But I know. Actually, I like your area over there. I like it over there. So
yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you. Okay, all of LA is changing. I mean, like it's all everywhere. It's construction everywhere. Things happening everywhere. What are some of your feelings right now about this whole huge expanse of Los Angeles?
I think it's great that, they bring people here, people kind of, it's a lot of transplants in LA. So, I'm sure that's one of the reasons why they're just like expanding and building and going, you know what I mean? And so, when that's a lot of money coming to LA, so that's good, you know what I mean, for economic reasons and for, and just for social reasons as well. But also too, man, everything has its downside, so with the more expensive and the pricier it gets in LA, it's like, the more they're like kind of kicking people, further and further out, so I'm not from LA, but from my understanding, it used to be very inclusive, and now it's kind of becoming like this very exclusive society. So, it has its ups and downs, its pros and cons.
Where are you from?
North Carolina originally.
So my stepdad is. I've had a lot of people from North and South Carolina. I've been to the Carolinas. Beautiful.
Very beautiful.
So you came out here for entertainment? You came out here for that?
Yeah.
So you were in North Carolina. Did you know growing up you could leave and come across country to pursue music? Was that something that was, or did it come later to you that you could do that? I'm always curious about that.
I think my mother instilled in me a lot that like, hey, it's a big world outside of these 4 corners that we live in, outside these 4 blocks that make up our neighborhood. It's a really big world out there that you should take advantage of. And so it was always a thought of mine. But somewhere like LA and New York always seem like distant places because we see them on TV. So they always just seem like distant places where like the movie stars hang and all the celebrities and all the, so I always felt like a distant place. But as I got older, I started to travel a little more up and down the East Coast, New York, DC, Philly. So, I got accustomed to it, man, just kind of moving around. But I would say the foundation in that was my mother instilling me that just like, hey, get out, explore, go see who you are outside of this neighborhood. So that really, that really pushed me a lot to really, see it and believe it.
Go, Mom. I know. A lot of places will they'll do the opposite and go, well, you can only do this much, and your life is kind of doomed to this.
For sure.
They are. No, seriously, they try to almost. I feel like sometimes the older generations get a little scared. They're kind of like, just do this, stay here, do this, you'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And not say spread your wings, go out there. But really, there is a huge country out there to try to make it, not just that little, like you said, that little small 4-block radius.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. No, good for you. I always like, I'm from LA. I've lived other places, but I'm from LA, so I always just wonder, people who come here. You said transplant city. Like, did you know this is a place you could come to? Well, let's say New York, Atlanta, Chicago. Like, these are all places that you see on TV that have big entertainment centers.
Exactly.
And now that you're here, is it what you thought it would be?
Originally it was like, now, but like originally it was no, because I thought Hollywood was like this like bustling, glamorous, place where like, I might just run into Will Smith today, so, but, who knows, but yeah, got here and it was just like, No, like it wasn't really what I expected. You know what I mean? Like when I looked up, I seen, and it's a lovely place, a beautiful place. But when I looked up, I seen billboards and this and that, and then you kind of bring your eyes down and kind of get a glimpse of reality. It's like everybody's out here trying to make it. Everybody's out here trying to become something. Everybody's out here trying to, you know what I mean? Just like living on, I'm gonna say living on their last, but everybody's out here just bustling, trying to move and get it. So it's not this glamour fairy tale place that I once, believe, through a TV screen.
That's true. And so how long have you been out here?
I've been out here going on 7 years.
Have you found, I know it's something that's a lot of us content creating, creative types. Have you found a circle of people?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I definitely found like a group of people that like, it's, I'm like you were saying, LA is just like, that group. Like there's like so many groups, neighborhoods. There's so much out here, so it's easy to get distracted if you don't find that group of people that like, that you work with as far as like creating, you can bounce ideas off of. They do the same. It's like this trusting relationship, between you and that group of people that you're with. So yeah, I've definitely found my group, but like it takes time. It takes time to kind of find out where you fit in such a big place,
Yeah, and people forget LA is really spread out.
Yeah, it is for sure.
Very, very, I'm not far from you, literally, because I'm just a little south of you, but like,
yeah,
we're not close to this downtown way over here, the valley over there, kind of Monaco over there.
For sure, for sure.
It's very spread. I lived in places where I could get to them in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Here it's hours. There's times.
Yeah, I know you got to plan for it.
I need my passport. I need like a COVID test or whatever to get across town. A little crazy.
Sure.
Now, the last few years, though, you put out stuff like My Sweet Ambrosia, Honda Sky, There's Beauty in the Black. You're putting out projects throughout this whole last, let's say 3 or 4 years. We've gone through. I call it the Black Rebellion. There's different words for it. There have words for the civil unrest, whatever you want to call it. That happened. COVID happened. Lockdown. LA lockdowns happened. But you've been putting out music continuously. So in the general sense, was that just always a thought? Because some people, as you know, just did nothing for a while. They kind of just felt like, I can't do anything. But you've been putting out stuff. So is that something that you just kind of always, I got to put out music? Or, how'd you walk through that?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Something, something I wanted to, always like maintain. It was like, I came out here for this. It's just, this is what I wanted to do. So I have to stay focused, no, no matter what's going on. And obviously, like you always, we kind of have your conscious open and what's going on outside of your doors. But also, too, man, I just wanted to always like write, keep my mind sharp, hone my craft, and just and just stay focused, man, and just stay focused and continue to grow as an artist. Because I knew that, like, and I don't say this lightly, but I knew that, like, just because just because it rained today. And during COVID, it poured a lot, just because it rains and it pours today, it don't mean it's going to be sunny tomorrow. You know what I mean? Don't mean that those clouds won't clear up tomorrow, man. And so like, you just kind of got to, and so I say that to say, you just kind of got to, just keep focused, keep pushing along. You know what I mean? As of me, it's just like, talk to God every day, talk and pray, to keep my heart, keep my faith strong, keep my head right, just maintain and just, I'm like, I love making music. So, just kind of, just keeping that all together and moving forward, pushing forward.
But during that time, like, well, we'll say during the civil unrest and the major lockdown of COVID, how did it affect your music that was coming out that time? How do you feel it affected your music? Because you were putting out music, so how did it feel like it kind of influenced it?
I feel like, music is always just like, it's always what you're going through at that time, like you were saying. So I think the music kind of just really helped me. Honestly, to be honest with you, I used to, it kind of changed my style up a bit, because I was kind of growing and involved as an artist, but also too wanted to make something like deep, but also too that was palatable, So it was like, how can I find ways to say, what I would say in 10 words, how can I maintain a state in 5 or 6 and make it more palatable to the listener, and working on my writing skill and my writing style, so I wanted, so I was trying to say more and less. And so I think that really helped me too, you know, because I think at the time it was just like, man, there's a lot going on out here in the world, you know? And so like music is always like, you know, reflection of reality, of course. But I also wanted it to be something that's like, you know, maybe just take my mind off what's going on today. It still feeds my soul. I still hear what he's saying. I still feel what he's going through. But I can also like, it's just light enough where like I'm not too intertwined with like, man, you know, like there's no escape. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? There's no escape. So I think they help my writing style a whole lot, man. Just kind of like, hey, I'm trying to set this vibe and give you this vibe, but also let you know, like, you know, I do hear what's going on outside. You know what I mean? Like I still do have these problems. If it's with COVID, if it's with like, you know, money issues, if it's with just anything I'm going through in life, like, yeah, you know, like I'm going through it too. But also let's just kind of sit, vibe a bit, and just like think on it, you know. So so yeah, so I think that's where it helped my style out a lot, you know.
So what I did, which was so funny, is
Tell me.
my little trick folks out there. So what I did. So I wrote the heavy-handed songs because I'm a spoken word artist first, and then I started doing music. So I wrote the heavy. I wrote the, you know, where you need the iron mitts to hold the paper.
And that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm saying I wrote them first, and I wrote them. I did not release those. Like you, I was like, okay, there's like, because here's the thing. So there's already, like you just said, there's stuff already coming out of everybody. There's stuff everywhere coming out at you. You have to decide, do you want to be part of that?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's what I hear you saying. Do you want to be part of that screaming, yelling at you, kind of this the talking at thing?
Yes.
I
Yes.
feel like that's what you were thinking. Like you were thinking, like,
Yes. No, exactly. No, you're right. You're
Yeah.
right. You're right. You know, because it's easy. Because it's easy to get like, you know, because we all have something to say. You
Right.
know what I mean? And please say it. You know, please speak your
Right.
mind. Please let it be known. But I also thought that, like, again, like you said, it's just the talking at thing. You know, so I feel like too, like everybody's talking, everybody's yelling and screaming, nobody's listening. You know, and so it was like, man, let me, you know, make something that's like, yeah, like I said, like an easy listen. You know, like I hear you. I'm going through it too. You know what I mean? Like we're all going through this. You know, like we're all going through this together. But just something that was like an easy listen, man.
Yeah,
Honestly.
I did a thing where I took some of my songs that had a message in them, and I set them to dance music.
Oh, okay.
So I have a song called "God Is Good to Me," and it was a nice little hit for me. And I'm talking about talking to God during this time period.
Okay.
But it's set to a huge dance beat.
Oh,
Like, I'm getting a message. I'm like, so that was my little secret, Dewey. I was kind of like,
cool.
so I have a song called "My Opinion Is the Only Opinions" for all the haters on Twitter.
For sure.
So I took the things they say about me, because I'm this television host, I'm on TV. They say, like, you're fat, you're loud, your teeth, whatever. So I took what they said about me, put it into lyrics, I put it into a techno song.
For sure.
So my friend's like, I work out to it all the time. I'm like, that's kind of like that's kind of, it's like, so that was my way of kind of sliding in my feelings about a situation, but not really, like you said, not taking away from, like saying, like what you said, I'm watching what's going on too. I'm not, my head's not in the sand.
Yeah,
I'm not oblivious.
Exactly.
But let's kind of like, well, you can dance to it and have a message at the same time. So that's kind of what I did for my music. It was kind of like, I'll put it in a dance beat. And then it's like you said, easily digestible. Like people can digest it better than you just going, I hate you so much. Well, actually, I like this on my Khalees, but like the that heavy like at you stuff, which can work. But like you said, when everybody's doing it, it drowns out everything. So your songs can be like this respite for what's going out there.
For sure. Because you know, like you were saying, like when you just like, you know, when that's being done, it's like it's putting this ecosystem of just like not hate, but it's like it's not contributing to, like, you know, your mental health, who you are, you know what I mean, the discord, you know what I mean, it's not contributing anything to everybody, you know, at least that's my opinion on it. And so I definitely get what you're saying.
Yeah, and like we're both saying, folks, if that's what you do, do it.
Yeah, for sure.
See, I was a person who grew up with Gil Scott-Heron, who was an idol of mine, and people
Love
like
it.
that who like, and Bobby Womack, people like who spoke truths.
Yes.
And their
Yes.
songs were melodic also, and they had a, you know, there's
Yes.
stuff in them. So that's kind of that's my, you know, I'm old. I talk about, I mean, I'm like in my 50s, my grandpa. Well, so I just kind of go back to I like, you know, Marvin Gaye. I like those messages, but yet it was also melodic. It was also, you could swoon to it or dance to it. But
Yeah.
you get a little, and that's why I say your songs are good because, like, okay, so Lovejoy came out last month. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank
I know it's like to put out a new baby.
you.
Right?
Yeah, for
I mean,
sure.
birth a new baby. It's
Uh-huh.
amazing.
Here it is.
Do you get nervous before a new something comes out?
No, I'm not gonna say nervous. I was excited. You know, and I would say like it's a feeling of like, you know, sometimes there's like this anxious feeling a bit, you know, and so you know, so like I would say that, you know, just because you always, I'm just like you're putting something out there for people to have an opinion on,
Yeah.
you know, and so, but like I know what I put into it, and like I know who I am, and I know like my abilities as an artist, and you know, and as a writer, you know, so like I have the utmost confidence in myself, but also too, you still do in the back of your mind think, like, man, I wonder, like, all right, you know, are they gonna like this beat, or should I have done that cadence? Man, what if, you know, but yeah, no, I wouldn't say nervous. I wouldn't say nervous.
Well, well, the song I like the most of the album of the EP is one of your biggest ones on Spotify, and that's Friend 75. It's after your song American Lust, which was something you did a while back. That's like your number one song on Spotify. Like, these
Okay.
are I mean, lots of thousands of downloads.
Okay.
I'm telling you, like it's some great stuff. But
Thanks.
so this EP, what is the meaning behind these? Because I know how it is to put songs. Because sometimes you record all kinds of songs and you pick which ones to go on something, or record certain ones for certain. So how was the process for Lovejoy? How was the process with these 4 songs?
Oh, in the process I got with a new producer I'm working with, named Sean Tezzi. You know, he reached out, you know, like he heard some of my older music and reached out. I guess he heard my last EP and reached out. And so me and him talked, and there was, you know, there was an instant connection and chemistry. And yes, me and him started working together. And I just kind of wanted to make something like, you know, I just wanted to like evolve more my style. So I kind of wanted to make something that was like a little more celebratory to like Black people, but more or less Black women. You know what I mean? So like, and that's where like a love joint came from, you know, and so that's kind of how it started to form. So you have like different ideas, as you know, like when you want to record something, make a body of work. It's like you may start off with one idea, but by the end of that process, it's like, all right, it's kind of mutated and formed and evolved into something new. And so, you know, a love joint just kind of came out of that process of just like, you know, hey, like I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this idea, got this idea, that idea. And so, you know, through that process came a love joint.
All right, our Black women.
Yeah.
That's something that we, you know, I hold them very close to me because, well, nowadays they get all kind of stuff. I mean, as Black men, we get stuff too, clearly, clearly. But we can't forget our Black women also, and that's why I was saying this. So is this like a love letter to them on some level? Is this kind of
somewhat, yeah, somewhat I would say, you know what I mean? So it's just kind of like, you know, with a love joint, you know, if you go through the whole like EP, like each song has like a certain meaning or has just like, you know, a certain symbolism to every song, you know, on a love joint. So it is, you know, so it's just kind of like, hey, I'm just, yeah, I mean, I'm just professing my love, you know what I mean, to you, you know, and my, you know, my understanding, my respect and my admiration, you know, for Black women. So
we got to hold each other up, you guys. We do.
For sure.
We don't always do it.
We say
the royal we. I mean, like, I want to say us, but like we.
Yes.
Don't always do it. We do. We just do. They look to us, so we should be looking to them too. I agree with that. I would say other races never apologize for that. And I feel like Black folks are always apologizing for supporting their own.
Yeah.
It's a weird, to me, it's a weird thing, which I don't do.
Yeah, no, I agree. You know, I think it is like, there's like between, at least in my eyes, you know, coming from the South and then kind of traveling to the East Coast and coming out West, it's like, there is like this between like Black women in America, I would say there's just kind of like, there's still this misunderstanding sometimes, you know, and I feel like we can get all into it, but but I feel like there's like like a misunderstanding still, between Black women, and America itself, and so so any chance I can get to show love to Black women, man, that's like, yo, I'm all for it, I will.
Me too. No, me too. No, I mean, it's tough out there in them streets, and we're all out there. We're all out there, and it's just that I just feel we need to do a little more of kind of trying to come together. I know it's hard. I know it's tough. We have generational, like you said, we can go to a whole other story, like generational stuff that happens, why we were pulled apart. We're gonna get to all that right now. It's not gonna be a slavery race talk, but it's like
agree.
We all know what went down, why things are the way they are. But the fact you decided to go back to this, so for you, this is where you are going right now in your life. You're like, this is where I'm at right now. I want to talk about relationships. I want to talk about Black women. I want to talk about Black love. That's kind of where you were right now. That's why this.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, on that EP, because there's so many of like, if it's like, if it's like my mother or my sister or my niece or my lady, it's just like, all right, well, at least in my eyes, like, man, like they look to me to be like the calming factor, like they look to me for like, like a certain support system, for them, you know what I mean? And so I feel like as a Black man, it's like, all right, if they're looking to you, it's like, I want to like always encourage you. I want to always build you up, I want to always let you know that like, hey, I'm here for you, and so, so just going back to our conversation, man, it's just like, that's why I was just trying to like show that love and appreciation, and so that's what the Love Joint was about.
How would you describe your style?
Man, I would say, growing up, like I love Jay-Z, you know what I mean? And so like Jay-Z, Carmen, D'Angelo, so I like try to pick try to pick certain styles from each one, and try to just like, there's influence in my music through all those artists that I just named. And so I guess I would say like there's it's like a cryptic writing style, and there's just kind of like this spokenness to it, this spoken word to it, just spokenness to it. Obviously there's like some rhythm and blues and some rhyme and some rapping, we just come from that, line of culture. We come from that culture, like I am that culture, so we come from that. So it's instilled in you, at a young age, and so, so I have appreciation for just like good lyricism, vocal performance, delivery, and so I would say my style is just kind of mix of just like, hey, I wasn't really involved in what was going on, on the corner, on a block, or like in my neighborhood, but I witnessed it from my front porch. You know what I mean? I sat on the front porch and seeing it from an outside view. I seen my brother's involvement, but also too, like, have my mother in the house who was like, patting me on my back, telling me like, hey, it's bigger than this, and so like that love for my mother, that those Black, just coming from that Black household, seeing like, my closest family, brothers, sister, cousins, and all that go through certain things, I think just kind of help mesh your style, of what I am. And
I can tell. No, I was listening, that's why I wanted to ask, because I'm like, I hear almost rap spoken word, like what I do.
Yeah, okay.
Like some of my songs, I kind of sing to a little bit, or I'm sing-songy kind of.
You get it.
It depends on the beat, right? It's like whoever calls for it, I go to my voice, I use my voice that way.
For sure.
I can tell you're the same way. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, because I was like, he's not straight up just a rapper. It felt very R&B.
Okay.
Your EP feels very R&B, which I like, because I said again, I'm old school. I like old school R&B, and I like when newer artists or artists say kind of incorporate that. It just brings me back. I mean, it's like, it's kind of, people talk about Drake all the time or whatever, and his albums, but some of his albums he did straight up kind of R&B music in his album.
Big time.
Now he's doing house music, which for me, I was young and bouncy in the 90s. Beyonce too. I was like, Beyonce, I was back to Show Me Love. I was doing it too back then.
For sure.
Not anymore, but back then I was doing it. But no, I like when artists kind of because all these genres we started.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Jazz, rock and roll, R&B, country. We started all that.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I'm glad when artists like you kind of bring, like I said, it does feel very R&B. It feels like your EP sounds like something I would put on, I can put on at daytime or nighttime, outside the cookout or
Yeah.
in the house, having a little house get together. That's what it feels like. It's great music to have on, and but it's like oh, okay. I was like I can groove to this. I mean, it's like you said, it's not super heavy hard. It's not in your face, but it does stand out. Like I said, I like the music. I was telling him, I love Friend 75. I think it's a great song. I like the music to it. It's really good. And you kind of rap spoken word it's.
Yeah.
Like some of those songs, so I like it. So I just want to tell you, I love that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. And I always wanted to at least with this one, man, or at least with the music I make in general, I always want it to be relatable, you know what I mean? To relatable and adaptable, you know what I mean? Just to any scene, So like you said, if I'm sitting in the house having a glass of wine, I can turn this on, or it's just good. I'm like, it's good enough for me to listen to, but it's also clean-ish enough where I can play at the barbecue. So if my mama here, she won't, trip out too much, but also too, it's not like rated G like music,
right.
But also, because the music is good, So I give all, I'll give all respect to Sean Teddy and Max Headroom, those guys who know my style and know what I do, and who are fans of my style and appreciate what I do, to give me a platform where I can okay, I can play with these melodies, I can play with this wordplay, I can say this and that, and so it's all about just trying to paint that scene and paint that visual, and so yeah. So I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
That's good. Now my question is like a logistical thing, kind of. I won't get twitched in the weeds. I know folks are like, I don't understand, I'm not a musician. But for those of you musicians, I'm curious about this question. Why EPs, not full albums?
Just because I'm kind of giving people bits and pieces of where I'm at in my life now, and how my style is starting to come together. Okay. So I didn't want to put out 4 or 5, 6 albums, have a bunch of albums out, and it's just not and it wasn't really being heard, So I kind of want to continue to build who I am as an artist, but also build that following, build that base, and build just that infrastructure for myself and the people around me. So when we do give you because to me, that album is that's your life story. That's your life's work, because you only get one chance to put out a first album.
You're right.
And so that first album is it's like you've had it's like you've had your whole lifetime to make that first album. And so I just didn't want to just give people a bunch of albums, at least, and so that's why EPs.
So it's more deliberate. You're like, yeah. I feel these 3 songs are how I feel right now. I'd rather put that out than have 3 songs, 8 songs filler.
Yeah.
Or,
yeah.
You're like, they could have a single, exactly. A double-sided single, and that's it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Yeah. So double-sided single.
Now you know what I mean. I'm seriously. I've seen some albums. I'm like, there are 2 good songs out of 21. Yeah. Okay, got it.
That's it. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. No, it's true. But that's good. That's good. You're much more deliberate with the music. You're like, I'm putting out a single here and there, or this over here, or that over here. That's a good idea. That was a great idea. It's and also just continue. It's easier to put out 4 songs than 7.
There you go. Exactly.
So it is easier. So are there any performing things happening? I'm just curious because I don't think it's opening back up and stuff. Yeah. In that space, what is that for you? Are you just recording and putting out stuff? What's happening for you in that area?
No, it's just recording, man. And we're trying to get together certain shows around the LA area. And so I'm working with a few other artists. We're trying to get certain sponsorships and things like that, just to kind of, get the flow going, and get shows and get things open and, and get out there. So that's next is just kind of just working through all that business, and, things on the background or the back scene. So yeah, we're trying a 7, a 7 city type of show. And so, or 7 shows. Yeah. And see, so we're working on that. working on new music. Right now, I'm just kind of yes, we're getting in certain aspects like the business with like management and things like that. So I'll know more just about my schedule and what I'm doing and where I'm at. But I'm always recording music. I got some new music that's
I was
just
gonna
like
ask you. I think, do you just like move like me? It's out. Yeah, you're promoting it. Like you're here talking to me. We're promoting it. But like I'm on the next stuff already. Like I'm already like,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
That's cute and
yeah,
all, but I'm already
yeah,
like,
yeah. So yeah, like I'm putting this together, and all that,
right,
So
right.
like, so obviously, I'm pushing the
Of
EP,
course,
and getting out there. It's like, because as you know, we're small businesses.
yes,
So you gotta look at yourself as a small business. So what's your budget? What's your bottom line? And what can you allocate certain funds to?
right.
So we're a small business growing. So yeah, of course, we're promoting and trying to get the EP out there even more. But also too, like I just love writing, love being like I love creating like that music. I love creating and writing and like seeing that visual. Like, man, I want the listener to like see this. Like when like when the music comes on and when they hear my voice, like I want them to see this by the end of the verse. And so yes, I'm working on some new music, with some more established artists that I'll have on features and work together. So so trying to get that worked out. But yeah, man, just giving it, just putting everything into it, honestly.
So obviously, we'll find out as it comes out. Are you finding yourself morphing to some different kind of type of music? Is the newer stuff different than this stuff, or is it similar? Or
it's
we're not giving too much away because it's future.
yeah.
But is it morphing to something different, or are you gelling more into what you want, the sound you want? Like what's
I think it's starting to gel, but also too, I'm just like pushing those boundaries of like, my voice, my artistry, like my, like my, I like my pen game. So like, I'm just like pushing that, and so just like further and further, you know what I mean? And so just to challenge myself. So yeah, so the new music, you'll kind of get, like you'll get me, but it's also too, it's like, all right, he's trying to further and push the sound more, you know what I mean? So yeah, so I think you would like it though, honestly. I think you would like it. I think you're gonna love it, like we hear.
Okay, I'm ready. You have to come back on when that comes out. You have to come back on.
Sure.
Dewey Quinton, thanks for being on the show. I mean, you're great to talk to you. I'm here as support. I'm here as support. Now you have somebody else in your corner, your support. I'm saying that on camera.
Thank you.
Where can people find you? I mean, I found you on Spotify, of course, but where can they find you in your music?
Any and all streaming platforms, Dewey Quinton, no space, just Dewey Quinton. Like we're from the South. So, like we run all our words together, So Dewey Quinton is what, so if you go back home, or if I go back home, it's Dewey Quinton. It's one word. So yeah, one word, no space, Dewey Quinton, all streaming platforms. The Instagram is Dewey Quinton as well. So yes, that's where you can find my music. More just like around the corner, more, it's more around the horizon. So we got a lot of stuff going, planned and moving for the coming months, so.
Yeah. That's funny. You said the South. My family's from Louisiana. So it's Louisiana, it's Nolens, Louisiana. I'm James Lott Jr. It's all one word.
One word. It's all one word.
It is. You're right. You totally remember. That's so funny. Check out his music, people. Support indie artists. I can't say it strong enough. There are a lot of people out there putting out, like amazing music who aren't part of the huge conglomerates, who aren't part of the huge like Universal or Sony. There's some great music out there, like Dewey's, like mine, like other people. Support them, check them out. If some of these services will tell you, if you like this, you might like this, click on it every once in a while. Just see what they're talking about. You may find somebody new. That's why I want to do on the show. I always support indie artists who are out there trying to put out meaningful music that entertains. And that's something I think, and also arts in schools will take the programs out. It shows that you're better. It helps you in math, helps you in sciences, helps you in everything when you have music and arts. So make sure that's in there too. And also, and I say this with no apology, support Black artists.
There you go.
Support Black artists. Support Black artists. Support Black artists. Now, I don't care if that is painters, writers, producers, rappers, musicians, poets. Support, 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 support. There's some really amazing stuff out there. So check out Dewey, check out everybody. I'm James Lott Jr. See you next time.